as the tech companies become more and more repressive and corporatized, and as they grow more and more enamored of censorship, there's been a push among many to embrace new tech or alt tech, free tech. I guess there are many different labels it goes under. And this consists of, well, I'm already on BitChute, for example, but there are many other tech platforms that are not YouTube, that don't practice censorship the way that YouTube does, that don't deplatform the way that Twitter and Facebook do. And there's places like Parler and Gab and Library and Ramble, and it seems that they're cropping up all over the place and gaining more and more popularity right now, as it becomes more and more clear that certain thoughts and ideas and notions will not be tolerated, or will only tentatively be tolerated among the mainstream tech companies who are allied with the large corporations, who have a very clear agenda that they are pushing right now and have been pushing for the last several years. Now, I'm of two minds about this, because on the one hand, I do support the getting off of or leaving these tech companies that are doing the deplatforming and the censoring. And I hate Twitter with a passion. I hate all of social media. I've really grown to despise. And that leads to really why I'm of two minds about this, because yes, going to these other places, and I understand that some of them are really quite heavily populated already. Parler, I've heard stories about people leaving Twitter, getting on Parler. Parler has sort of is like the alt tech version of Twitter. I've heard of people going there and getting, a huge number of followers or subscribers or whatever they call them on that platform immediately. And so it's like, there's all the upside and none of the downside. Most of the tech companies, the alt tech companies, are still kind of new, and so when I get on my BitChute page, I don't tend to get as many views as I do on my main YouTube page right now. But these places are growing. There's no doubt about it. This is a market. It's an issue of supply and demand. But here's the thing. Social media, I believe, is a plague in and of itself. There's something wrong about social media in and of itself. And I say that as someone who has in some ways benefited from social media. I say that as someone who, through social media, has met and befriended certain people that I probably wouldn't have known otherwise in the pre-social media world. I would still rather go back to a world that did not have social media. And I think Twitter is of course a toxic place, but that's only partly due to the fact that it's there's so much piling on and mob mentality and pushing of agendas and digging into people's past and finding if they've got anything at all that's considered objectionable by the most social justice warrior-y of the social justice warrior types, trying to get that person canceled. Cancel culture is indeed very toxic. But there's something, I think, about social media that almost invites this problem, even if you take this particular aspect out of the mix. There is some aspect to social media, I think, whereby what normal interaction, what should happen in normal interaction with others, just gets accelerated. And all the kind of critiques that you heard on that documentary, The Social Dilemma, without any of the downsides, any of the bogus things they talk about, like how it promotes fake news, and how they say Pizzagate is fake news and all that other stuff that's absolutely not true. What they do include what they do talk about on that particular documentary that I think is worthwhile and worth paying attention to is how social media is all about getting a dopamine fix, and getting people addicted to validation. And I'm not even sure, I might be just by continuing to record these videos and continuing to keep the like button available, and making the comment section available. Of course, most of the comments are nice. Some of them are not nice, and every one not nice comment, of course, seems to outweigh 10 or 15 of the nice comments, which is also part of how this whole thing seems to work. There's an unnaturalness to the type of social interaction that inevitably takes place in social media. So what I'm saying is, even in alt tech companies that are sprouting up, anti corporate correctness, anti political correctness, anti censorship, anti domination by cancel culture types platforms, that does mean excising a lot of poison. But on the other hand, you've still got social media. What will remain is what social media was, say, in 2013, 2014, which is still, I think, not a healthy thing for people. Kind of before the whole censorship gained steam. I remember when you could say what you wanted on Facebook, and it didn't matter. There were no forbidden words. And of course, when I started getting harassed by the Facebook authorities for my affiliations, they would then go back to some post that I made in the freewheeling early teens, and give me a strike for something I wrote in January of 2013, where I made reference to an English cigarette, or a bundle of sticks, or used some other forbidden word in a way that now it was retroactively illegal for me to do so. But what I'm saying is, even back then, even if we take out all of the more obvious poisonous aspects of what social media has become in this most poisonous of years, 2020, this year of full and perfect vision, 2020 vision of all that's wrong and bent and warped and wrecked about culture and the ruling class and everything else, life, the universe, and everything, like that old book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. It's been a year of discernment. If your eyes are not, if you're still fooled, then you haven't been able to see through the facade. But if your eyes haven't been opened by some of the stuff that's been going on, then you might truly be blind. Anyway, maybe what I'm saying ultimately is this: the ultimate solution is for social media to just be gone again, forever. But can we do that? Can you put the toothpaste back in the tube and return to healthier norms of the pre-social media days? Can we do that? Well, maybe this exodus from big tech would be a good start, but or it's a better circumstance than what we've got right now. But I still think a lot of what's wrong with social media, the addiction to validation, the addiction to the dopamine rush of getting followers and getting people approving of you saying clever things and all of that. I think ultimately it's going to have to come down to people just choosing not to have any part in it anymore and just getting off. Not just going to alternate platforms, but leaving. And that includes myself. I'm going to have to do that sometime, I'm thinking. Now, for now, I still think that I'm doing some good by keeping this channel going and continuing to record videos and helping to promote my writing, which is, which I think I'm egotistical enough to think is worth promotion, but still playing with fire, even with the ideological poison drained from the platform. There's still it's still not a healthy way to interact with others, ultimately, I don't think. So tell me what you think. My name's Andy Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.